Oh,
Oh,
I give
no,
permission.
no, thank you.
No, I don't want to do this.
Oh, not today. All right. Well, I actually did more research than I ever do
Yes.
for when I,
Good.
which is good because there's only one movie left.
There is only one movie left.
So
I
literally
don't know.
this whole time I was thinking that like No Time to Die, and then they were making a new one.
Oh,
I literally thought there was two more.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought there would be six altogether.
it would make sense. It would make sense to kind of
Like three and three.
make it like a thing, but nope.
No, because I've already kind of seen some spoilers on it. And
No.
it's one of those things where you're always looking up Bond stuff for like
All right.
research and stuff. And it's just like, oh, here's how James Bond bites the dust. Like, cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. Oh man, but still, the other funny thing to me is like our Mandela effect is still carrying over to be like these are not the movies. These are not, I don't know if you felt like that last night.
I Oh man. So the funniest thing that happened was like it got, I don't know. I tried to write down like everything so I wouldn't forget. But I forgot where it got to. It was really early in the movie.
Hmm.
And oh, I know what it was. It was when they were on the boat. I don't know if you'll have it. So when they're on the boat and they see the MI6 building like it's blown up, he's with the other guy and they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about
Bill something. Bill, I don't
yeah.
know.
M's like aid in the other movies.
Yeah.
And he's like they're riding in the boat and they're like look, he's like this is what's happening with this MI6 building and now here's the new building and all
Mhm.
that. And immediately when they showed that I was like oh, this movie's probably going to have a lot to do with like Skyfall, like stuff that happened in Skyfall
Mhm.
is going to play in. And I was like, nice, because that's what Casino Royale and Quantum they played
Yeah.
off of each other like very well. And Skyfall was kind of like a standalone thing, and now Specter was tying back into Skyfall. But as the movie played out,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is the movie that ties everything in together. And I had
Yeah.
it's so funny. I remember watching this movie. I watched it at work. I had like a little portable DVD player or whatever.
Nice.
Or I have a laptop. I had it on something and I watched it when we had like downtime because it came out in November. So it was like sometime in the winter. We didn't have a lot of work going and I was watching stuff. I don't remember like almost anything that happened in this movie.
Yeah.
I remember like something would happen and I'd be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. Like the car chase scene when I never got what the guy's name was. Basically Batista.
Mr. Hicks.
Hicks.
Yeah, he shows up right, and I'm like, is that freaking Dave Batista?
Right? Yeah. I knew he was in the movie. I remember him and I really liked it because honestly, right, since of all the movies, he's like the only one he's like the first Bond like henchman, you know? Because like they had Odd Job
Oh
with the
yeah,
hat and like Jaws with the mouth, and they've had a whole list of them.
he's the
But this
first.
guy,
He's like the first henchman that could actually take out Bond.
right, he had his little golden thumbs and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, I almost was gonna write to you that the getting the thumbs in the eye, I was like, ah, there's the
Oh,
gross out scene in this
yeah.
movie,
No,
but
no,
it wasn't.
it gets outdone. Yeah, it gets outdone.
It does get outdone. It definitely gets outdone. Ooh.
Oh man, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because going in the movie, I was like, all right, when are they gonna show reveal that M is still around?
Oh, is that, oh
Oh,
yeah.
here's the video I got right after she died. All right,
Oh,
she's
she's not.
not. She's gone. All right, cool. Don't remember that at all.
No.
Oh,
Yeah. And you were then the funny thing was too, I didn't remember you were like, oh, that guy from
yeah,
Sherlock,
I remember
Andrew
that.
Scott. And I was like, I don't remember him being in the movies at all, but okay. And then he was like a huge part of this
Yeah,
movie. And I was
that's
like,
what I remember. Like I remember him being C. So the things from this movie that I remember before I watched it is I remember Andrew Scott being C. I remember him being one of the bad guys. And then I remembered the boardroom meeting scene
Oh
this
yeah.
big reveal who this guy was, leader, and I was like, no idea who that guy is. That's
And
it.
you
That's
kind of,
pretty much all
the
I
way
remember.
that scene plays out, you still kind of don't,
Right.
in that moment, you don't really know who that guy is. You don't
Yeah.
understand why he's so scary. You kind of don't, because Bond doesn't really understand. He's like figuring out, the audience is figuring it out as he's figuring it out. But I tell you what,
Even
speaking
though
of that scene,
even though he knows he's been dead for 20 years.
that's true.
Doesn't say
But you
anything
don't
about
learn that out. You don't learn that, I think, until afterwards, right?
well, because he calls Moneypenny in during that chase scene right after, and he said,
Right.
yeah, look into his, before his
She's
death,
like,
after his death.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about one, the acting in that scene, and two, just like how that plays out is that was like, ooh, gotta give you like cold chills. Like when he's like, it's all quiet and he's been quiet like the
Yeah.
whatever his name is, Franz
Blowfield.
Oberhauser.
Blowfield, yeah.
Yeah, Blowfield.
Yeah.
He's like sitting there and everything's quiet, and then he's like, oh, here we are, blah blah blah. And he's like, welcome, James, and he keeps going on. And I was like, ooh, I forgot that this was kind of like creepy. And then he like turns and like looks at him like where he is.
Exactly.
And I was like, whoa.
The funny thing too is like Bond, like he's infiltrating the secret meeting, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is standing perfectly still, and he's like walking around so he can like specifically see who's going to be in the main show. It's like you're kind of standing out, dude. That's pretty funny. I love any like major bad guy who's in charge and he doesn't say anything. Like he sits down, right, and everyone's quiet, and he like turns his head, and his aide like comes over,
Comes up. Oh,
he just
yeah.
like moves the microphone. He's like, "Don't let me interrupt you, please." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then, yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, I don't remember Dave Bautista being in it. I also don't really know at the time period if I even really knew who he was. I thought
Yeah,
Guardians.
I think Guardians came out in 14. I think Guardians came out the summer before.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't even remember when I saw this movie for the first time. Because what's weird to me is like now you can't find it on any streaming service.
No.
I remember watching it on a streaming service. And I was like, oh, that new Bond movie's on, and I gotta watch that, and I had no idea.
So it came out November 6th, 2015.
Yep.
That's crazy. And it made like a 580 million profit.
Yeah. Yeah, I did some looking on that, and I found a bunch of different. It's all over the place. It's like everybody has different information.
Sure.
I think globally, it was 880.7 million globally.
Okay.
But as far as
not the man, I got you.
But as far as America, I think it only made like two. Let me see. Where the heck is it? I wrote it down somewhere. Number 11. It says one thing I read said it was the number 6 highest grossing film of 2015, but after I really did more research, that just wasn't Wikipedia. It says it's number 11. So number 11. So here they are for 2015. 652.7 or no. 652,270,625. And I'm pretty sure this is globally. Yeah, this is globally. That was Jurassic World.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay, so Jurassic World was top. Then you have The Force Awakens, Age of Ultron, Inside Out, Furious 7, American Sniper, Minions, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, The Martian, that Cinderella remake, and then Spectrum.
Makes sense.
So that was 11. Those were the top 11 highest grossing films of 2015. And I think that is globally. I think that's globally, not
probably.
Because yeah, I mean, Jurassic World is number one. I mean, that was huge that they brought,
I mean, yeah, they brought everything back. Yeah. What was number two?
The Force Awakens.
Oh wow, so that came out December. So this came out, and then a month later, Star Wars came out.
So what's crazy about this is every time I do this, I feel like this was only a couple years ago. But then I
mean, it kind of was, yeah.
2015 was a while ago.
It's coming up on 7 years ago. It's like six and change. Yeah.
And it's like all these major movies that I like love, The Martian was a great movie.
Great movie, yeah.
Jurassic World was great. The Force Awakens, like we just were saying, was good.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron is one of my favorite
right.
Avengers movies. I remember so that was Mockingjay Part Two, I think, is the last Hunger Games movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, because they split it up into two parts. And that was pretty big. That was a big release.
I don't know if I've seen it. I think I've seen it.
I've seen them all. I saw them all with Adri. I don't know. I hear the books are better, but
yeah, that's what she says. Yeah, I haven't read or seen. I don't think I've seen the last one.
Yeah. What's this other list I have here? Oh, Specter also made a list of the most expensive movies to film of all time.
Oh,
it's like number 25 of the list of the most expensive movies to ever make.
Well, that explosion at the end is probably up there, right?
If it's not,
probably some of the cars, like the two cars. What'd you call him? What was his name? Mr. Hicks.
Hicks, yeah. Oh yeah, he's got
probably
yellow and yeah.
So probably they're chasing because they both had like super high end sports cars,
The
I'm sure they had
the building that crumbles in Mexico. I almost think that's a miniature.
It kind of felt like it, right? It kind of felt parts of it felt filmed like they did do some practical, but then some of it felt partially CG and partially miniature.
Honestly, just paying all those extras to all be wearing like Day of the Dead stuff probably cost a lot of money.
So how hilarious was it? What was it? Was it Skyfall in the last video we talked about? And I was like, hey, that guy, the skull thing shows up, right? In this movie, I was like, I'm pretty sure they show the thing. And it ends up being James Bond was the guy in the mask. Yeah. I think in the image you pulled from the internet for last time's thing.
I think it was a poster with Bond on it.
Oh, a poster, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought he was some random guy, or I thought he was like basically the guy that Bond fights in the helicopter. I thought the skull guy was that guy, but it was Bond in disguise.
Yeah, I remember that being Bond.
I totally blanked out on it. When she was like in the elevator with him, and she was all like, ooh, and then they get in the thing, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna open the door and Bond's gonna be in the hotel room, and I was like, here it comes. And then she's like, where are you going? And it cuts, and he's like, haha, I'm in the suit. I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What is this movie?
My favorite part about that is he's like, oh, I won't be long. And then he goes out and the building crumbles, and then there's a big helicopter fight scene, and then he just goes, doo, 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 and he just leaves in the helicopter.
Did you like it? The guy kind of did it, right? He was like,
Well, I think in this one, at first I was like, this is a really stupid helicopter thing. But I think they film it in a way where it shows that the pilot is trying to get control of the copter, and at the same time he's also trying to like help the guy.
Right.
Because he's trying to shoot him with the flare, and he's trying to maneuver it in a way where it's going to throw Bond out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I think I saw. Yeah, that part where they go all the way up. I know. But I think I saw like behind the scenes thing where it's like in a thing where he's like twisting it. And that's why him and the actor look legitimately like they're holding on to.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Side of the thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So take a couple guesses at what you think are the most expensive movies of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
And where was this? It was like number 27.
This was number 25. So I have the top 10 in front of me.
So Endgame's got to be up there, right? Because of the actor stuff. And isn't that one of the highest?
That is number 4. 356 million.
How much was it?
356 million.
So I'm thinking probably Titanic with the model.
Titanic, yeah, that's 6.
Oh wow! So the other way, I got to go the other way.
That's 312.
So it's got to be something with IMAX stuff. It's got to be something crazy with IMAX.
Well, the funniest thing about it, right, is what we were talking about last episode with the whole James Cameron thing.
Oh, is it Avatar? Is Avatar?
He is up there, he's number 6, right? But
Sure.
but everything above him is all the stuff he hates.
Really, really.
Yep.
So it's more like Marvel movies.
It's like it's mostly superhero movies.
Really?
Yeah.
And Endgame was number 4.
Yes. Endgame was number 4.
That's surprising that so you're saying there is at least one more superhero movie that was
above
more.
Yeah. And I'll say this, number 1 and number 3, I don't think you'd ever guess, because I would never have guessed them being expensive.
It has to be either like something to do with like the type of camera that they filmed with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
they paid to do it.
Or what?
Or the actors they paid to do it. I can see that.
Yeah. The thing that comes to mind is like something with Christopher Nolan, like something like a war movie or something. That was the only thing I could think of.
Well, 6, 7, 8. Number 8 is Justice League.
Oh, okay.
No.
What's number 3? Give me number 3.
Number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Oh, is that the last one with Javier Bardem?
I think so.
Silva, basically the Silva guy from Skyfall.
Yeah, I think so. He was who did he play? The deaf guy there, not David.
Yeah, he played some sort of thing with he had like black goop coming out of his mouth.
I'm pretty sure At World's End is the last Pirates movie. I think
so. Yeah, I think so.
So number one is also a Pirates movie.
Oh,
yeah, that's Stranger Tides.
Stranger Tides. So that's got to be the Caribbean one, right? With the
I think that's
is that Davy Jones?
I think Stranger Tides is number 3, and At World's End is 4. Aren't there 4? There's 4 Pirates movies, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, because number 1 is just Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's Barbosa. Yeah, Barbosa's the main guy.
Davy Jones is the second one.
Oh, is the second one? Okay.
Stranger Tides is the third one, and At World's End is the fourth one. Yeah, but that also makes sense thinking about it, because
the ships,
they're on full-size ships.
Well, yeah,
they are, right? They're on ships. They're filming in the Caribbean. They're filming in the ocean. Filming at sea.
Yeah.
And by this time, by number 3 and number 4 of the Pirates movies, they're a huge franchise. Johnny Depp is getting paid tons of money, right? Because he was getting paid a lot of the first one. By the 3 and 4, he was getting paid a ton.
That's true. I did see like a behind the scenes thing with the filming. I don't know which Pirates it is. It's the one where the main British guy who's kind of like he's trying to get Johnny like throughout the whole thing, and there's a sequence where cannonballs are like blowing up the ship, and he's like calmly walking and like splinters and stuff. And I saw behind the thing where he's walking, and they are practically blowing some stuff up, but then they're digitally blowing things up, and all these like wood splinters. And they did a certain type of programming where when you would hit this thing, like hit like a railing or hit stairs, they had programmed the computer so that when you hit it, it would literally fracture like wood would fracture.
Yeah, I think that was the first time that they kind of were developing that CGI thing, because a lot of stuff uses that now, where it takes a 3D model and it like implodes it into parts.
Right.
Yeah, they use that for like tons of stuff now.
So I think that if that's like, I don't know if that's at World's End or not, but it's whatever movie that's in.
That's the same one where the Kraken comes out.
Oh,
I don't know. Those movies are great. I haven't seen them in forever though.
I like the first one a lot. The first one's really good. Number
Okay.
two, I have no idea. I have no
Age,
idea.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, really?
A lot of CGI.
Yeah. I
I
mean, a
mean,
lot of them have CGI. I mean,
I know.
like
Well,
Endgame had a lot.
so what's weird, right, is like I have the top 10, but even ahead of Specter is like the new Lion King. And it's like on the
Oh,
computer. So I don't know. All right, so number one, Pirates Stranger Tide was 422 million it cost to make that. Was there at least that was their budget.
yeah,
Age of
yeah.
Ultron 386. Pirates at World's End 362. 356 is Endgame. 316 Infinity War.
Hmm.
312 Titanic. 312 Spider-Man 3. So James Cameron's tied with Spider-Man 3. One of the worst Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Gosh.
308 was Justice League.
Hmm.
I think the original cut. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. 299 Tangled, which is weird that like an animated movie would be.
Maybe I don't know. I really have no idea what would
And
take so
then
much.
number 10, 292 was Harry Potter and the Half-Blooded Prince.
Oh, the Harry
I don't.
Potters.
I have no idea which movie that is in the series.
So isn't that funny? Because wouldn't you think that one of the Lord of the Rings would be on that for the miniature work and all the
Oh yeah,
orcs and all the background stuff? And it's not even in the top 10. None of them are, even the Hobbits. That's
no,
crazy, actually.
it's crazy. That's crazy.
So that means that those all six of those movies, even Peter Jackson's like 4 hour cuts of these things, weren't that much money. They weren't like whatever Harry Potter was at what, like 200 and something you said?
292.
So it's all under that.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's
Yep.
actually that's really surprising.
Yeah, I know. I was going through the list and I was like, "There's no way. I don't understand how."
Yeah.
I mean, you think of these movies that are, like you said, Lord of the Rings. I mean,
Right.
I guess it's probably not too expensive to film in like New Zealand. To get a filming permit.
Yeah, maybe they get
You
some
even
really
have
cheap.
to. It's all country. You probably don't even have to get a permit to film.
I wonder what
And nobody in that movie is really a big name at the time. Orlando Bloom probably didn't even start making money until Pirates.
no. I'm trying to think. I mean, Elijah Wood was kind of what's his name was big. Ian McKellen. Even if he hadn't been in the, even though he had done just like the first X-Men movie, he still was like big over in Britain.
But still, I mean, they're not like huge billing. Like when I think of Pirates, I think Johnny Depp got paid. I mean, he got paid money.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. The budget was only 93 million for the first movie.
Yeah. But it's also a different time period too, where I think with inflation, I think that would put it above. Honestly.
Maybe.
A little bit.
But let's see how much the end battle. 94 million. Wow. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, those are all.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think it's that, and I think a lot of stuff, because all stuff is computer, just takes longer. There's more people to pay.
Yeah.
Because back even with the older movies, like they just did stuff practical. It was miniatures. It was like camera trickery, so that you think that this is like this big, but it's really like this big.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Age of Ultron being number 2, you have at that point everybody has had their own standalone movies. Some of them too, most of them too.
Yeah.
One Avengers movie, and now this is the second Avengers movie. So now everybody, all the main cast for that movie, are like high build actors.
Sure.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth. Those guys are all making a ton of money, and then you're paying probably what 300 200 people to sit in chairs and do computer animating for 80-hour weeks. I mean, I don't know how big like the actual computer side of it is, but I think it's got to be a bunch of people.
Yeah. There's probably something. There's probably some document or like not document footage about like how like why things cost so much in that movie. I mean, like you're saying, definitely to pay those actors to be there.
Right.
But then you think about it, right? Because now Endgame is like the end of all that, and you have more big named actors, and
Yeah.
it's less.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be like the motion capturing for Ultron to
Mhm.
make him look so seamless in the movie, and some other stuff. It's got to be something like that
Yeah.
to have James Spader be so like because he was on set filming, and that was like 3 or 4 years before Endgame, so
Mhm.
it has to be something like you're saying with the computer to make things look
It's got to be.
really, really good.
I mean, a studio backlot and a green screen. It's a big
Yeah.
wall. But yeah, no, you would think Endgame would be more.
I really would. I thought it would be in the top three.
Yeah.
Oh, it's top four, but still.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it makes sense. It makes sense that Endgame costs more than Infinity War. But I just love the fact that all three Avengers movies are like top five.
Oh yeah. Well, even in like the highest, if not counting inflation, like the top highest grossing films like ever, like the four Avengers movies are like in the top 10, I think, or top 10 or top 15. So
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's crazy. All right. So back to Spectre.
yes.
Where would you rank it in on your list of the Daniel Craig series?
I think of yeah, it's tough because I was thinking about it last night. I really liked the movie. I really enjoyed,
Yeah.
and I remember when I had seen it, I had saw it, and I just remember like, I didn't hate it, I didn't like it, I just was very like whatever about it.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, I rewatching it, and I honestly think I really like Casino Royale, but I think I like it because of its like tightness to it.
Yeah.
It's a very static story. It's like, it only does this thing that like it's very followable. But I think honestly, I like this one out of all the ones I've watched, I think I like this one the most. But I think it's because of what it encompasses
Right. Yeah, exactly.
and like how far it outreaches. And really it's one of the things where like Endgame is my favorite Marvel movie, but you can't like Endgame without watching the 20 other films behind it. Like
Yeah.
if you don't watch it, you just watch Endgame. It's a fine movie, but you don't really get any of the
Yeah.
special nuances and all the character development. So
No,
it's kind of one of those things that like Spectre plays well. It's a good movie, but you really can only enjoy it after you've seen the other three.
well,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking. Is because after I was watching, I was like, man, that was another like good like standalone. Like, if you wanted to tell somebody like if you want to watch Daniel Craig Bond, like watch Spectre. Like you could just go watch it for like the Bond aspect of it, but you kind of can't.
Yeah.
You kind of can't, especially with the end. With he's basically to get Blofeld. He's basically realizing that like everything has been set up by Blofeld to him, and that everybody that he's taken out in the previous movies are all connected to Blofeld.
Like all connected to it. Yeah.
So like you don't know any of those people if you haven't watched the other movies, but no, I know I would yeah, I would say Casino Royale and then Spectre would be like number 2 for me. Because Casino Royale, you can rewatch Casino Royale over and over. This is a great movie, and I would put it high up on the list, but I don't, the rewatchability of it, isn't as much for some reason.
No.
And it was funny.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like if you want to watch Spectre, you got to watch the other three to get everything. But you can watch Casino Royale over and over again.
And I think the reason that it's so high up too is because, the last one that we watched, we were saying how it felt like a Bond movie. It felt like an original Bond movie.
Right? Yeah.
So this like it carries over. Like this is like, okay, this is another great like Bond movie. Like he's Bond in this movie.
Yeah. And it's the same director from Skyfall too. So I think a lot of the stuff that did well, played well. Sam Mendes, he there's a lot in it that I really enjoyed because you had like You had the music again.
Yeah.
But the thing I wrote, the very first thing I wrote, which was the right, I don't think any of the other movies
Oh,
start with
no.
the
Yep.
thing coming over the scope,
Yep.
and I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. And you had the scope in the beginning. You had the the music. You had like his you had like the ejector seat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You had the henchman guy chasing after him, and then you had Blofeld, which is like the bad guy to
Yeah.
James Bond.
Right. Yeah. He's like the major bad guy from the other ones.
You get like a really good kind of like one liner from him. It's not in the torture scene or whatever you want to call that. When he's like getting rid of his personality, like before that, he's in the hallway, so they've already gone into that weird room with the meteorite, and they had their little conversation.
Yeah.
He's like in the weird hallway, and he's like,
Okay.
"Well, why are you here, James Bond?" Right? He's like, "The Double O program has been dissolved, so like, why are you here?" And Bond's like, "Oh, I'm here to kill you." And he goes, "Oh, I thought you were here to die."
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, "Oh." It was a very like it was a very Doctor Evil thing where I wanted his pinky to come slowly to his lip, and he'd be like,
Oh no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
I know, I liked it a
Yeah, it's
lot.
pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, okay, so the Sam Smith song,
Yeah,
Writings on the Wall, where would you place that as far as James?
uh, probably number three.
I can see
I
that.
think I still like Casino's one more the most. Probably Skyfall, and then probably this, and then probably the Alicia Keys and Jack
Yes,
White one.
I can see that. Yeah, I could put that. I
I
could.
like Sam Smith's arrangement, but I don't know. Skyfall just has like a nice. I think it's because it's a woman singing it. It's just very like it's very rich sounding. I enjoyed it. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could put Skyfall and then uh this one, Writings on the Wall. I could put that one and two.
Oh yeah, easily.
No,
Yeah,
Casino could be
I
three.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Sam Smith actually won the best original song that year for the Golden Globes.
Did he really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's interesting because like I like that song, but there's I guess the chorus to me is the best part of it.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
I like that, but the rest of like the lyrics and stuff, it's kind of like I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, I know. I understand it because I think Sam Smith wrote it so that it could be on his album, and it's a Sam Smith song, but the chorus is like very geared for James Bond.
Yeah, right. Like it's a fine line of how do you write an original song for a Bond movie, but also have it be like an actual original song that can take place
Right.
outside of the Bond universe.
Right. I think I wrote it here, and I was like, "Oh, there's a little like wink." Was when at towards the end of the movie when they kidnap Bond and he beats him up, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
got like the thing over his head, and he goes inside the old MI6 building, and he's walking, and his name is spray painted on the wall on the like the people on the memorial wall,
Heroes, yeah, the memorial
and
wall.
I thought, oh, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Oh, very good.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. No, so yeah, no, I know.
And it goes back to the intro goes back to what you've said from the other intros. Like this one had squids and stuff in it because all the Specter and stuff like that.
This is like the most how do I put it? This is like the most seductive intro that we've had.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
much like tentacles like caressing and all the the octopus.
yeah. That's true. But the thing I thought was really cool, and I was like, man, this movie is probably is clearly getting into it. Is they showed like Vesper drowning, and they showed the Lashif and stuff, right?
With the glass shattering effect.
Yeah,
Like all the bad guys and all of the stuff that like all the really bad stuff that like Bond has been through, showing that like that's his art to this point. Like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was good.
super cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. The all of the Austria stuff, super cool. Like I love the snow scenes and
Yeah, that was really good.
the plane. I mean, him flying the plane through the woods and stuff. It's such a classic Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
It screams like,
it was really funny because I was like, oh, this is cool, and then he started to do stuff on it. I was like, I don't know, I don't know how much the plane could handle this.
Yeah,
But
I
it
just
was
very
cool,
specifically remember that scene where it's like it shows him like going like towards that building, and then it does the
Oh,
reverse cut where it's like here's the other side, and it's like oh, there's a building, and it comes through.
Yeah,
Super good.
it comes bursting through. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was really good actually.
but I love the Day of the Dead stuff in the beginning because it's such a, I've said it before, like it's such a callback to Live and Let Die. I mean,
Live and Let Die. Yeah, yep.
It has all these things in it that are, it's like nodding towards previous Bond movies, like I said with the Pierce Brosnan stuff, the snow stuff.
Right.
It really felt like some of that,
Yeah, no, it really did. Yeah, I mean, I think we got the theme song in it twice, like the little thing at the end. You got it, but I forgot when it happened the other time. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're right. It's a few times. You can't place it.
But so basically, I guess what we should do, even though we're like whatever, like half an hour into this. So basically, the plot is Skyfall happens pretty recently. He ends up getting Bond unbeknownst to MI6. He gets like a little thing from M saying to track this guy called Marco Sciarra.
Yeah, she literally asked him to kill him. She's like, kill him and then go to his funeral.
Go to the funeral. And which so he does that.
It implies that like M kind of knew about this stuff.
Yeah.
She at least knew there was something going on. Yeah, and it's cool because it still shows that like Bond doesn't really trust anybody.
No.
And obviously he shouldn't, because like Quantum obviously wasn't the only like main thing that had people everywhere. He knows that like, Quantum was everywhere, but like Quantum was also like a subgroup.
Oh yeah.
He knows there's still spies everywhere, so why would he trust anybody?
Yeah.
He trusts Q and he trusts Moneypenny. That's about it.
Pretty much. Yeah. So all that like had happened, and then he goes to the funeral, and he kind of puts together there's like you can see the back of the guy's head. He kind of puts together that there's somebody important here. He interrogates or whatever, seduces the wife of the guy.
Yeah.
Of Marcos, get at it, and then
learns
from her.
Was that Blofeld at the funeral? Is that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's the guy and he's standing there and Bond's like looking at him.
Yeah.
And he's and then he kind of slightly turns his head like this and then he walks away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Blofeld.
Yeah, I figured it. Yeah.
And so finds out he uses the ring to get into the thing, and then he finds out about the
I love that scene.
People.
Where he's like, hey, who are you? And he's like, I'm Mickey Mouse. Like, who do you think I am? Like, we're not, I can't reveal my name.
Yeah.
It's cool too, because it's like, at first I was like, oh, I guess that's their hand signal. But also, you realize that like he has the ring, right? And it's turned
right.
So you can see the squid.
So you can see the thing, yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
It's very much like a Nazi thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. No. Also kind of like a Hail Hydra thing, as I was thinking too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
with the squid, yeah. The octopus.
So he finds about the community. He then puts together that seeing the man's face, because we don't know as the audience as early on as Bond knows that Franz Oberhauser is his like I don't know what they call him.
Yeah.
It's his brother, but it's his like adopted brother.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he's alive, and he confronts him and ends up arresting him, which is pretty interesting because I think all the rest of them die, right?
Yeah.
the chef gets killed by Quantum.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Green, what happens to Mr. Green? He drinks motor oil in the desert, and then his people come and they kill him.
Yeah.
Probably Quantum again.
Yeah.
And what happens to Silva? Oh, Silva gets a thing in his back from Bond. He gets
Right.
the knife thrown in his back.
Yeah.
So like this is the only one so far, right? Because we still got one more where Blofeld was arrested. It's interesting.
Well, what's interesting too is that the way it ends with him going to be with Swan is like, did they plan on making another movie, or did they just kind of,
I don't know,
one more? Because it very much could just end.
Oh yeah.
But it's like him choosing not to be Bond anymore. Like,
wasn't it hilarious? Did you feel the same way? So the whole thing happens. I won't touch on the one thing that was probably the most surprising thing that I didn't expect in this movie at all. Because you and I always talked about him being adopted, and so Blofeld being related to him wasn't super shocking.
Right.
But so he's with Dr. Swan. They're all great. They kill Mr. Hicks, or Bond kills Mr. Hicks, and then try to remember what happens after they go to the stop. Oh, that's right. They go to the thing. She saves him, which we'll get into. And then he meets M and Moneypenny and all of them on like the house in London.
That safe house, yeah.
The safe house, right. And then they're leaving, and then all of a sudden she's just like, no. No. And I was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Like, none of this makes any sense. It was literally a really poorly written way so that she could be kidnapped.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that. The rest of the thing, I didn't really have a big of an issue, but that I did not like that scene.
Well, there's either two ways that what's going to play off from that scene is either she's going to be abducted, or it's going to be revealed that she was working for him the whole time. Right?
The whole time, right, exactly.
But I thought it was cool that they finally showed and brought back Mr. White and his like.
That was probably the most surprising thing to me in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Was that Mr. White is the father of Dr. Swan, but also like this to bring him back, and like he was this kind of like a nobody character. Like if you really think about it, like in the whole thing, he was, but they made him such like a pivotal guy.
He was always the guy in the background watching and making sure that stuff happens the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Ah man, it was just I was so.
But what I like about his character is that even though he was working for, the guy the whole time, he also was devoting his time to like trying to figure out where he was and like how to get to him.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he almost implied that like at first he really agreed with the things that they were doing, and then it got to a point where he changed and was like, "Yeah, I don't like the way it's going. I don't agree with how it's going." It's how Mr. White, like he made it sound like he changed. The other guy changed.
You almost wonder if it was like because in the other movies it was more like business people taking advantage of like cities or individuals to make a lot of money, and now it was like shifting to literally controlling like the world.
Yeah,
I think at least. And so maybe he was like, I'm just in it for money and like making riches, and not like being everybody's like big brother essentially.
But what's cool is that like Silva and Blofeld are kind of like the same. They both are like obsessed with knowledge and like
that's true
information. I mean, that was their big thing.
Yeah, it was really good. I
so that whole arc there is that Blofeld is trying to get control of like surveillances all over the entire world, and C, he's that Nine Eyes initiative, and so basically what they're doing is they're blowing up cities to get these like cities and countries on board with like being a part of this global surveillance company.
Right.
And then in doing so, they can control like their crimes, their movements, and everything by doing everything. So that's kind of cool.
It was honestly, it was a really fascinating like way to kind of bring it all together about like the random attacks that were happening in the other movies and even earlier in the movie when they bring up Tunisia and some other stuff like that. It's like because they're or like you're saying, like they were orchestrating things so that either countries would fall into agreement with their Nine Eyes program or whatever they could
Yeah.
make money off of it or kill people and put other people in power.
Well, it's funny because it actually means it makes Green like a more substantial character than like we thought in that movie, because it's just like, oh, he's just a business guy trying to like set things up for like control of stuff.
Right.
But when it really comes down to it, he's literally like, controlling to get countries on board of doing things specifically so Blowfield can, take
Yeah.
control of the surveillance and take control of places.
That was the one thing it's funny you say not seeing his picture at the end was like one of the one things I was kind of bummed out about. Remember when like Bond's walking through and he's looking and there's like the cutouts of everybody's faces and it shows LeChef and then it shows Silva and then it shows like Mr. White and Vespa and M and I was like, okay, and Mr. Green, like the other movie,
right.
but they didn't show him.
That's right. I almost expected there to be a picture of Bond up there too, like implying that like
hey, good thing you said that because it went. But maybe I saw the thing you talked about in Quantum, maybe it was Skyfall, but the target like sheets had Bond's head on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember one of the intros, they were like burning.
Yeah,
they were showing Bond's head like, and they were on fire. I don't remember which movie it was, but
oh yeah, which one was it?
I think it was Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, because it was the fire.
Oh no! It's Skyfall because they were showing the bullet shot.
It was burning from the yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's Skyfall.
Yeah, so that's cool that like in this movie they bring it back by the actual like shooting targets in MI6 pop
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So let's go through and see if we didn't touch on anything yet before I say my Pale King, Smart Blood.
I like how they show too that the new M, Mallory, is that like he's M, but he was an agent. Like he's smarter than C. He's smarter than C. He's this big cocky,
right,
super smart guy that like he's telling everybody that they're old, they're outdated. The 007 initiative is outdated. But at the end of the day, it's like M's outsmarted you. Like it doesn't even take a 00 to.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
yeah, especially the scene that it's only like a second long or 2 second long. The interchange when they're fighting, C or Max and M are fighting each other, and he slips and he's starting to fall, and like his face is like, oh, like I'm gonna fall, and M just kind of was like, or whatever. See you later, buddy.
He doesn't even hesitate to like grab him.
No.
And then like he falls like what 20 stories.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
They like rush in the body like he's dead. Like, oh really? No. No way.
He's not alive.
Are you sure he's not still breathing? He only fell 100 feet.
On the like solid concrete.
The other scene that really cracks me up too is they C and M are doing the walkthrough of that that building, that glass building. It's a really pretty building. But they're walking up this like it's almost like the Guggenheim, right? Where the staircase is like it goes up, like spirals up to the top.
Okay.
Top offices there. And C is like explaining like how this is the future, this is revolutionary, and it cuts down on like human stuff, and it's like they're walking up this spiral. It's just so impractical. It takes like 20 minutes to get to the top offices, and it's like it just made me laugh because it was like this is revolutionary. It takes you a 40-minute walk to get to the top office of your high security building. Like if there's an emergency, you're like you ever all the way to the top, like right? It was so funny to me.
Yeah. Well, clearly he was out of touch, right? He thought all
Yeah.
of his ideas were the greatest.
Well, I love that scene too, where I'm a sucker for any time. Bond does it in the first movie, in Casino Royale, his second kill. The guy takes the gun out and he's like, I already have your bullets. I know where you keep your gun.
Oh, yeah.
And M does that and he takes the bullets out. I love that because it's like you get the confession because the guy thinks he's got a loaded gun.
Right.
You get the full confession and he does that thing. Well, I guess we know what M stands for, right? It stands for moron. And he pulls the trigger, nothing. And he's like, yeah, I guess we know what C stands for. Careless.
Careless. Yeah, I know.
So good. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, it was good. So the thing I remembered was after Bond seduces Marcos Guerra's wife, he mentions Felix.
Oh yeah, the American. Yeah,
the American Felix. And I was like, nice. That was cool
Felix,
that they brought.
Yeah, Felix was going to come get her, right?
Yeah, he was like going to put her in like American like protection or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was funny. What are you gonna say though? Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just funny that the other thing was like he's like, yeah, then I got a name. It's L'American, and she's like, no, it's a hotel.
L'American.
L'American.
Where was it? I had it here. Oh, so he's in the whatever he was in. I know you're gonna probably know it. Was whatever place Mr. White told Bond to go to get his daughter. The clinic.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing that I liked was, so he goes in, he talks to her. That doesn't go well. He goes down to like the bar, and the guy's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, and he says I think he says the actual James Bond drink, right? Doesn't he?
The original one, yeah, not the Vesper drink, but yeah, the original.
Right.
Double martini, shaken, not stirred. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
something like that.
We don't have alcohol here.
We don't serve alcohol. So then Q comes up and orders this like terrible thing for him, this like protein shake.
Yeah.
And all of that. So that scene's kind of funny, and him and Q are having their moment.
As he's leaving, he tells him, right, he goes, yeah, just throw that down the toilet and cut out the middleman.
Cut out the middleman. But the part that made me laugh really good was, so security comes, they're getting rid of Bond, right? It's time to be escorted away. And he sees Mr. Hicks and the henchman guys like taking Dr. Swan. So he goes to go, and they're like, no, and he punches him, knocks him like kind of like,
oh yeah.
Ooh. And so the guy comes and goes, no, stay. And the guy's like, okay, and he runs. Oh man, I loved it because
I love that too. Because it's like you have these big tough security guys, but it's like he's a secret agent. They're like gonna try to get him out of the building, right?
Right. And the combination of like
punches the one guy in the gut so hard that it's just like like, and then he pushes the other guy against the wall, and the guy starts to come off the wall, like you're saying, and he's just like, don't. Like a stern father, and the guy's like,
yeah,
I'm good.
Oh man, I loved it because like he doesn't, these are just workers. He doesn't want to kill these people. He's like, it's okay, like don't come after me.
You kill him with his pinky,
Right, exactly. Oh man, it made me laugh.
But yeah, no, I love that too, because there's also a bunch of scenes in this movie where we were talking about with Skyfall, where after the train, and he fixes his cufflink. When after he objects and not objects, but after he
lands in the street,
and he's just like, he just comes down to the road and he just perfectly lands into a walk, and he just hits the button and it like falls off. He walks past the guy and he like fixes his suit.
Yeah.
Good evening. And he walks by. Even I think there was a fight scene too where he's moving around and fighting, and then like in the middle of the fight he like fixes his jacket.
Probably.
Good. I love that stuff.
The thing I thought was interesting was he goes into the secret room, right?
Yeah.
After he pours the drink. And he finds that tape that says Vesper's interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
they don't touch on it. They don't like go into it anymore. And I thought, oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's like, so Mr. White was a part of making her believe that the other guy in Quantum of Solace, right? You see the boyfriend in the Quantum of Solace, right?
Yes.
So it was his job to make sure that she believed that MI6 got that guy killed,
Yep.
so that she would basically do whatever they wanted her to do.
Yep. I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, it was a neat little throwback thing.
One
Yeah.
of the things that like, because I'm a sucker for like, I'm a sucker for detail and set design and just like props and stuff. When he finds Mr. White in that old cabin, it's clearly like he's been in that cabin for a while, like watching the monitor and stuff. When they're upstairs and they're doing that, they're talking about Spectrum and stuff, and he gives him the ring.
Yeah.
He like pushes the ring back across the table, like
oh, and all the dust,
and you can see like the dust trail from the ring.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, it was like all built up from him pushing it, and you could see like where the trail had been. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gives you that, and then he gives that line of, "You're just a kite in the wind, Bond. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you later.
Happy trails."
So long.
Oh,
yeah. I enjoyed the fight scene on the train. That was good.
That was good. It's good because it actually makes you feel like, yeah, Bond could very easily lose this fight.
Oh yeah.
Dave Bautista's huge. He's just throwing them all over the place.
Bursting into things.
He just wore him out. I mean, just couldn't even hardly get up at the end there. He's like, it's like those, classic fight scenes where it's like the bigger guy just pummeling the other guy. And the other guy's like, he tries to throw a punch or he tries to get up and he's barely moving his arm. And the guy just like puts his arm down because he can't even, he's got no strength.
I know. Exactly.
He threw him through the bathroom wall. He threw him through the table. He threw him against the, just.
I mean, he was getting rid of him. If Dr. Swan hadn't shot.
Bond's like classic move is to like jump up and grab something and use his momentum to like kick, and he does that, and Dave Bautista just like knocks his foot away and he just slams against the wall.
He's running through the galley and he's throwing like dishes and pots at him and he's just smacking things out of his way, and he's just like, you can tell Bond's just like, oh god.
And then he throws the candle at him, right?
Yeah.
Throws the candle and he's like, yeah, I got him now, and he's on fire, and he just like takes his jacket off and throws it. He's like, what are you gonna do? Oh man. Yeah, and then he's got one line in the whole movie, right? Dave Bautista's got one line in the whole movie.
Oh no.
oh, I see what you did.
Yeah.
Oh no, physics.
Oh. So I thought up until towards the end of the movie, right? Like getting the thumbs in the eyeball.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, okay, here's our gross out moment. And then he's in that chair. Bond is in that like strapped down chair thing.
Well, the best part about the thumbs in the eye thing is like he's just doing that to like torture the guy, and then after he like gives him all that pain, he just like snaps his neck. You couldn't have just snapped his neck first. You had to like.
No.
You had to go blind before you broke his neck. Yeah, okay.
All right. So Bond's in the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's all the thing. The thing comes down.
It's like his arms, it like moves his arms behind. He's like, oh, this isn't good.
And it's that thing like, and he's just like, this will stop this thing from happening, and he won't be able to. And I was just like, oh.
Well, because like when you see it, it looks like it's like here.
Right.
But when he's showing the X-ray on the TV, it's like into his jaw, like into his jawbone.
Like I think so, yeah.
I was just like, oh my god. Just the idea of a drill bit going through your skin into your like tooth, like your jawbone, right into your nerve, dude. You know how many nerves? Oh god. Yeah, that would smart a little bit.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and I like that the watch ended up being used.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, because I like how Q says, yeah, the he goes, because because he shows him the car, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's for
Yeah.
009." And he's like, "Well, what?" And he's like, "Oh, I got this watch for you." It's like, "What does it do?" "Oh, it tells you what time it is." And as he's walking away, he goes, "Oh yeah, Bond, that the alarm is pretty loud on that watch. You know what I mean?" So it's like,
Yeah.
Chekhov's watch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a supersonic thing, right? Because he said loud, so I thought like a deafening thing, but nope, it wasn't exploding.
I like how she throws it right, and Blofield's like, "Huh," and then he like blows up, like he's looking at like all.
Like,
But
why did you throw a watch?
who throws a shoe? I mean,
Right, exactly.
Oh, that really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's so funny because classic Bond torture scene, right? Where he's like whatever you doing can't be any worse than listening to you talk. Like just do it already.
Right.
I'm so sick of the expletive. Like just hurry up and kill me already.
Yeah.
And even before she throws he's mumbling and he's like, I can't hear you. And he's like, oh, I just was saying that time flies. And then she throws the watch. Pretty good.
Tempest Fugit. Yeah.
Yeah. But then for them to just be like, oh yeah, the whole facility it blew up. He's got to be dead. There's no way. There's no way he could have got out. And even like as they're like in the sky with the helicopter, you see like all these cars like driving out, and they just like leave. Like just finish the job, man.
Yeah, just wait a minute, right? Yeah.
Just let the
Maybe
dust.
when he got drilled, he forgot who Blofeld was for a minute.
He might have. That's why at the end when he goes to MI6, he's like, I don't know what's going on. Why is my name up?
What is this? Yeah. But then he had like the classic, right? When he's behind the bulletproof glass.
Oh yeah.
He had like the classic scar.
Yeah, the classic scar. But what was really cool about that shot is like it's filmed where like the glass is in the middle, and there's Blofield's reflection, and then Bond.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like mirroring the two. Yeah.
There was a thing too. I don't know if you can get it. I almost thought it was somewhere. I think maybe it was a trailer for Specter. They showed like the glass and the thing was thing, and then like the bullet hole was the head, and the fracturing glass was the tentacles.
Oh, cool.
You remember that?
No.
So almost like where he shoots at him, and then they come up close and he talks to him. If you look at the bullet thing, it kind of has like this spread out fracture, but I want to say in the trailer for Specter,
that's cool.
That's what it showed.
I also thought it was funny that Bond turns that corner and sees him standing there sideways, and he like his reaction is to shoot. And it's like, you really thought Bond he was just gonna be standing there waiting for you? Like
just like la, la, la.
There's no way he'll turn that corner.
I definitely haven't put arrows leading him to this exact spot.
Yeah, right. I almost got confused by the story again. Every time they bring up his adoption, I'm always like, but I don't. That's not how. But and then
that's
I finally put it together in my brain. His Bonds. He lived at the Bond Manor at Skyfall, right? Those are his parents. That's his house. That's where he grew up. That's his character. Right. They died.
Yeah.
Caretaker couldn't take care of him, right?
Right.
So he gets temporarily adopted by
Mr. Oberhauser or whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
So Blofeld and his parents temporarily adopt Bond.
Right.
Well, he gets jealous of Bond because Bond and his father were getting along like better.
Yeah, more so, yeah.
So he kills his dad and then makes it look like he died.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure he killed both of his parents.
Probably.
Right. Yeah. And then so that's the story. So basically Bond's life is even more tragic than you think because he loses both. Like he loses two sets of parents.
Right.
He loses his parents, and then his adopted parents die, and his brother dies.
Yep.
But it's crazy too because when he sees him at that meeting, he's not like, "Oh my god, my brother is just like, yeah, it's just another bad guy. I have to kill him." He didn't have any. Didn't
No.
care what the story was. Didn't care. You know.
I think Vesper's death like really makes him more heartless. Like not heart. I should say heartless. Like he buries his emotions like a lot deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, he just didn't.
Plus,
care.
he lost M, and he like destroyed his parents' house and stuff like that.
He wasn't like super close because it made it imply like that he hadn't been like adopted forever. It was like a temporary adoption thing, and like him and the other, both like close to each other. It's not like they were
right.
It wasn't years. It was probably months.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that was cool. It was
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think.
Oh, the other thing I was gonna say was shooting the helicopter engine. Like it was cool, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty. That's all I was thinking about. I was thinking about he's got like his. I don't know if that's a 9mm. That little gun. I think it is.
I think it's called. It used to be in the video game. It's called a PP7, but I don't know what it shoots.
I think it's a 9. I think it's a 9mm. But he's, the engine box on the helicopter is big, but it's far away.
Right. Cling, cling.
Yeah,
I like how he's like,
oh, what was that? Box or something. But I'm thinking about like shooting it at the helicopter, and it's like you have to shoot ahead of the helicopter.
Ahead of it, right? Yeah.
And you're also aiming above, right? Because the bullet dropped by the time.
Right.
Yep. How he kind of like dials it in. He shoots a few times and he hits it, and he's trying to like while he's on a boat.
Right. He can do it. He's James Bond.
No, not that. Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, unless you know all of the spoilers, what do you think No Time to Die is going to house? Like, what is it going to be about?
I have no idea. I don't know. Something has to happen that brings him back in for one mission. I don't know whether that involves Swan or.
Well, I know that Dr. Swan is like casted in it, and she's a big part of the movie.
She would have to be.
So, and I know what's his name. I can't think of the actor's name right now. I'm totally blanking on it. The main villain.
Mm-hmm.
What's that actor's name? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about Blofeld?
No. In the new movie, it's that young kid who's in. He played like Freddie Mercury, and he plays Mr. Robot, and he's in Until Dawn. He's like the brother in Until Dawn.
Oh.
He's like the Wendigo. He's not the Wendigo. He pretends to be the like maniac with the mask.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
I can't think of his name, but anyway. Oh, Rami Malek.
Okay.
So he's like the main villain in it, but I don't know how like he connects. So the only thing I could think of is they arrest Blofeld, whatever. They arrest him, and then just like they show in the table scene, the other guy, the Italian guy or the Spanish guy, he was like, I'll take over the place of Senor Sciarra, and then Batista gives it to him. Mr. Hicks gives it to him. It could be the same thing where like Blofeld is gone and somebody takes his spot.
Yeah, because that whole organization is still there.
Right. Yeah, he didn't like take down the whole organization. He just took down like Blofeld's like monitoring operation.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something to bring him back. Because why would you, even as like a film? Well, I guess people make movies for money, but why bring him back if you have like such a nice bow on the end of it? Why would you bring him back?
I know. Yeah, it does feel like Specter could have just been it, like just left it alone.
Yep.
Just had him ride off into the sunset with his new girl, and his like the master of it, like he said, the author of his pain is He's
gone.
arrested and he's behind bars and stuff.
Yeah, he's choosing a life. He's choosing a life and not to be a pointed gun. I mean, that's the whole thing he's been struggling with, because she says on the train, like, if you didn't have to do this, would you do it? He's like, I don't think I ever really had a choice.
Yeah.
So at the end there, he has a choice.
Yeah. No, I'm interested to see what happens.
So we'll see what that's all about.
It's gonna be funny to watch, like, because I've seen these movies, so it's gonna be funny to watch a Bond movie that's like new and
yeah,
and I'm actually gonna understand it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Should be good.
It's one of those things like that I do with a lot of stuff where if I know there's one more thing, like I won't watch it just because I don't want it to be like the end of the thing.
Mhm.
I did that with like Firefly for like the longest time.
Didn't watch the last episode or the
I didn't
movie.
watch the last episode like ever. And then I finally did, and then Firefly's over, but I still haven't watched the Firefly movie. If I don't watch the movie, then it's not, it's not over.
It's not actually over, right? Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that is I don't know. That's fun. I enjoy going back and watching these to like fill in the gaps, because like we've been saying, that the last two of these movies, or not the last two, but Specter and Quantum of Solace were just like, they were movies that existed, like I watched and I've seen, and I had no idea where they fit or anything.
Right.
So it's weird when you watch something in order, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, and honestly, like paying attention to it.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, that was Specter. So yeah, like you said, the next one will be one we haven't seen yet, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to like see where they go with it. And supposedly, this is the last Daniel Craig movie.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, honestly, it could be still. I don't know what you want to call it, the Daniel Craig universe. It could. The next movie could still be in. Deal with that, and it's just a different Bond. I don't know.
Yeah. What I think would be cool is if, like, whatever happens with Daniel Craig, 007 is gone, even if he retires or whatever. But like they've been making references to 009.
Yeah, in this movie, yeah.
So what would be cool is if like the new movies are just like, they're not 007 anymore, like 009 or 0010 or whatever.
And he's whatever. He or she is just whatever.
He's a different agent, but he's trying to fill in for being gone. Right? That'd be cool.
I feel like those would be good. That would be a good, like, whatever. I don't think Sony has a streaming service, but that would be like a good, we'll call it Sony Plus series, where it's like, because to me, I can't imagine what's the company? It's Sony and somebody else. Is it Columbia?
Paramount? Yeah, Columbia.
Yeah. Like, I can't imagine they're gonna pull and be like, we don't make James Bond movies anymore. Like,
they don't have the guts. They don't have the guts.
Yeah, I don't think that they would ever do that. It's too iconic of a name. I would like it. Obviously, I'd like it. A 009, and it's whatever, whatever.
Why is it an iconic name? Because they've been making the same movies for 80
exactly.
Years. And they've 6 different actors, but they're supposed to be the same.
It's a thing where, like, people, when you say James Bond, they know it's gadgets, it's car, it's women, and explosions and guns. Like, you'd never have to be like, I wonder what this James Bond movie is going to have in it. Like, know that's what's going to be in it. And these Daniel Craig ones have been a little bit different because he's a little more sloppy, and he's not quite, at least in the first couple movies, he's not quite the James Bond that you're used to. But now at this point, Skyfall and Specter are like, he's right on par with the rest of them. He's no different. These movies and those movies, other than the like terrible sexism, they're pretty much exactly the same.
Right. But what this movie has confirmed is that, like, James, like you were saying, like you've been saying, James Bond isn't like the name, like the the
Yeah, it wasn't his actual name; it was his
agent.
code name. Yeah,
So even if you fill a guy in, like in the future for the 007 role, because that position's gone, you need to fill the 007 position. It's not going to be James Bond.
wouldn't it be funny though if they did that? If they kept it in the Daniel Craig universe and they were like, okay, it's a new agent, and you just call him James Bond because it's like you're
Now,
keeping like him alive or whatever.
so now the new 007 is his actual code name is James Bond
Right.
after the old James Bond.
Because what if in No Time to Die he dies, and like to honor him, they keep it going by everyone. All of our 007 agents are called James Bond, like in honor of him.
I could see that. He's not going to die because there's obviously no time in the movie for it.
It's true. I would be surprised. Honestly, I'd be surprised if they killed him, but
I would like it if they do. I mean, I'm the type of person that I like that. I like that movie.
oh yeah, it would be fine. I would be pull the trigger on it, right?
Take a stand, man. Have some guts.
Right.
It's the last Bond movie, last Daniel Craig Bond movie. Just kill them off. Who cares?
Yeah.
Get rid of them. They should have done that with Han Solo. Just kill him.
Just kill
Long
him.
before they did,
Yeah.
Just have the guts to do it.
Like, you mean like at the end of Return of Empire? It's
Oh,
just she says I love you, and he goes I know, and then they're like blam, and he just murder him. You cannot date my daughter.
Yeah, that's how they learn. That's how they learn. But I mean, why? I mean, why? Even if he's a fan favorite, don't bring a character back that doesn't want to be involved in something. It just makes him for bad acting. Not that Harrison Ford was bad, and
No, but I know what you mean. But then he even came back for Rise of Skywalker too. So I don't know. It's kind of tough.
There's been fan theories that like always going to show up in Book of Boba Fett. Like the last thing Harrison Ford wants to do, you could give him all the money in the world, and he would say, "I am not playing Han Solo anymore."
I can't imagine that they would have let that happen. Now, I'll give this to you though, because they could get somebody. What's his name? Actually, the guy from the movie from Solo. They could get that actor to show up and put Harrison Ford's face on him, like they're doing with other people. They could do that, but they're not going to get Harrison Ford to walk on set.
No, and like you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. But there's a character in it, and that's what they've been doing. It was like a big reveal in the Mandalorian, but they got to the point now where he shows up in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's not the actor, it's not the actor's voice. It's all computer. It's a stand-in actor that looks like him and got his mannerisms down like immensely, like he studied. But the voice isn't even it's not even a manipulation of the actual actor's voice. It's just like they used old files from old movies and just completely built it from the ground up.
Oh wow.
And,
that's cool.
And over his face they do like a deep fake over his face. So like you could do that for any, like you said, you could do that for Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah, that I can 100% see, because in Rogue One they brought back Carrie Fisher, like Princess Leia. Like that wasn't.
Yeah, and Tarkin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, okay,
the technology's only gotten better.
Right.
So no, they really could.
I could easily see that they would be like, here he is, here's Han Solo, and it's like, yep. But it's to get Harrison Ford on set. I don't know. That would be pretty hard. You never know. Honestly, you never know. They get a lot of people to do a lot of weird things.
I wonder how that works though, because like they own Han Solo as a character. Mm-hmm. Like that's their character. That's their thing. But they don't own Harrison Ford's face. So would they have to pay Harrison Ford as like a guest role to use?
The only thing I could think of is it was probably maybe in Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back. If they had him sign the agreement for like the next movie, is like we own the likeness of your face for Han Solo, for toys and video games and stuff like that. I could see that because that was the arrangement that Robin Williams had with Aladdin, the animated movie, because he wanted to make content for his children because all of his stuff was like rated R, or just not kid friendly.
Yeah.
So Disney was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'd like to make something. He said, but here's the thing. He says, you're not, don't pay me for this. He says, but in order to get me to agree to it, you're not allowed to license, like make genie merchandise. And so that's why there's not like there. I mean, Disney did do it, and he kind of took them to court over it. And they don't do a lot of it. That's why there's not a lot of like genie stuff like everywhere, because Robin Williams didn't want that. So there could be some agreement with him.
I mean, it's animated to kind of look like him, but it's hand drawn. It's not really even like his likeness. I mean, it's not his face.
No. Not in a likeness way. He just didn't want genie toys and his voice saying things all over the place. He didn't want any of that.
No.
That's all. Not like drawing it like him. They just
a lot of the stuff that I have seen, it's not even Robin Williams' voice for any of that, for the toys or anything.
Yeah, they got what's his name? They got the guy who plays Homer, Dan Castanella or whatever.
You can go into a Disney meeting and say whatever you want. They're gonna figure out ways to get merchandise.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they have the money to just pay you off anyway, and they don't really care.
Yeah.
If he was smart, he would have said, I want like 10% of merchandise. You know, even 10%, 5% of their merchandise.
I don't know. I don't know what his exact thinking was. Maybe he just wanted to have like a unique character, and like the only way to enjoy his character was in the movie. I really have no idea.
No. I don't know. That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. What else is... Trying to think what else is coming out. I know that Uncharted comes out. Noah wanted to go see it.
Yep. It comes out like in a week or something.
I don't know. I'll have to talk to him, see if he wants to come out here. Maybe we could pick a day. He works nights, so it'd be like a weekend sometime.
Do you really want to go like? It's not because of pandemic stuff. Like, do you really want to see it in theaters though? Because I was like, I don't know. I'd hate to like spend a lot of money on it. It's kind of awful.
Well, if we could go during yeah, I would pay matinee price for it, but I wouldn't want to pay.
Right, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, because I don't want to pay a lot of money and then that's not good.
I know, and I just saw McKenna was showing me a commercial last night where it's Tom Holland, but it's like a Mercedes commercial. But he's
for Spider-Man.
No, he's dressed as Nathan Drake.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, the new Lexus is. I'm like, oh my god, already? Come on. Yeah, there's one thing I know about Nathan Drake is that he loves luxury cars.
Loves them.
And you remember that in the games?
He always drives luxury cars everywhere.
Yeah, always driving luxury cars.
Never like rentals that Sully got from some like village.
No, it's never just a crappy Jeep that they got from some African village. No, it's a Lexus.
Right.
Mercedes. Give me a freaking.
Yeah, I do want to see it. Like, don't get me wrong. I do want to see it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to shell out a lot for it.
I will. I'll text Noah and see if he can do like a matinee.
Yeah, whatever.
He might even come out during the week sometime to do it.
Yeah.
You know, in the afternoon before he goes. You know, he goes to work at night, so maybe during the afternoon he'd come out for a day. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could meet him. He lives out. Yeah, we could even go. I haven't been there in a long time, but like the what's it called? Movieplex is out towards him, right?
Oh, in Oneida.
Yeah. I mean, we can meet him halfway, type of thing.
Yeah, I'll text that.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I obviously I want it to be good. I want it to be interesting.
I know,
and all that stuff.
No, I do too. But you know how it is. Video game movies are always. Remember when I dragged you guys to go see that Assassin's Creed movie with
The Michael
Magneto?
Fassbender.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, Magneto's in it. It's got to be good.
No.
How do you
No,
how do you ruin a
I don't know. I think I've only liked 2 video game movies, and that was the updated Lara
original
Croft.
Mortal
movie.
Kombat?
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, and no, yeah, it was the updated Lara Croft movie, whatever it was.
Oh, that one was pretty good actually.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I didn't dislike it too much.
It wasn't
And,
unwatchable.
the what?
It wasn't unwatchable, that's for sure.
No, it really wasn't. They did a lot of cool stuff with like traps and stuff. I really liked about it, and the story was interesting.
It basically followed the story of the game. You know?
Yeah. And the other one was I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I don't remember.
I'm blanking on it.
I guess they're doing like you saying they're doing a Last of Us thing too, but who knows what the heck
But that's, I think, is a television series. They're doing a series with that. So
that could be good.
it could be very good. It has the potential of actually being okay. Yeah. But
It's hard because it's like what do you do? You make a live action version of the same story that everybody's already played.
well, they already yeah, what's his name? I forgot. They've already put out the cast for it. And it's like some of the people who are playing characters in the series are actually kind of interesting, because what's his name who plays the Mandalorian is Joel. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is Joel.
Really?
And his brother, so because Pedro is Hispanic, his brother, the actor who's going to play his brother, is also Hispanic. So, what's Joel's brother's name? I can't think of his name right now. Tommy. So Tommy is another Hispanic actor, which is cool. But cool enough, Bill from the first game, who he's all mad,
Yeah.
is oh god, Nick Offerman.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
No way. That
Almost positive.
could be cool. That would be cool. It'd be cool to see him in a serious role too.
Yeah. Bill.
Huh. I just picked. No way. That's pretty cool. 10 episodes, huh?
10 episodes so far. Yeah.
So I
And
literally
the guy who played he's like the new bad Terminator, and he played Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's Tommy.
Oh, cool. Actually,
Gabriel Luna.
his version of Ghost Rider is pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's I don't know, it's one of those things that like it might be cool and it might be terrible. It's like,
Yeah. You never know.
I think with a good cast like that, it just comes down to writing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I don't know. That's what's I don't understand about the Uncharted movie, because it switched directors so many times, just because of disagreements and stuff. But like Naughty Dog said from the beginning, like if they don't like it,
Right.
they're not going to put it out.
Right.
And then the trailer comes out and it's like that's not A, that's not Sully. B, that's not his age. And C, that's not how they met. So right off the bat, it's like, are you making your own story and filling in pieces from the games? Like what? I don't get it.
That's kind of what it seems like they're doing. They're taking like bits and pieces from all the games and all the storylines and like making it their own thing.
They're making an Indiana Jones movie with Uncharted, like major set points from Uncharted in it. Is what they're doing.
Kind of seems like that, yeah.
I like Tom Holland a lot, and I like him.
No, yeah, same. Yeah.
Spider-Man, and he could be a good Nathan Drake, honestly. But I like Mark Wahlberg, but I don't like him in that for that role. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I don't like him in the Sully role.
I don't. No, I know.
Like Elena and Chloe could be anybody. I don't care, but Sully, the character of Sully is. I mean, that's important.
I know.
You're right. I mean, that's important to get.
Yep. If honestly, you know right from the beginning when you see the movie, if Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland's chemistry is not good, it doesn't matter what they do in the movie, because that's the thing that like hinges the whole games on. It's like, yes, the games are interesting and they're fun, the puzzles are fun, and the story's interesting, but like you're only invested in it because you care about the actual individuals, like what's going on.
Well, hopefully, just like the first game, it's Sully's in the beginning, and then he's not in it until the end. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But I want him to do something in the beginning, help him like get into a mansion and get information on the target, right? And then show up at the end with a plane and save him like that. That would be fine.
He might. I don't
think so. I don't think they're gonna
I don't think so either.
Old Marky Mark. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah, I don't know. There's not enough out there, and I've tried to not dig into it too much because I don't want to hate it if I already know. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too much information to despise wanting to see it.
I just want it to be a fun action adventure movie that has Uncharted elements to it. I mean, that's kind of all I expect.
I think all really it is for me to not hate the movie is it's just got to have heart to it. It's got to be an adventure story with heart. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Whether it's heartbreaking or like happy, it needs to be one of those.
One or the other. I don't really care. Just have a story and a plot.
Right, exactly. You can't don't just throw crap at him.
Right. And that's kind of what I see from the trailer. It's like, hey, remember when he was on the plane with the car? Oh, we did that. Hey, remember the part with the ship at the end? Yeah, we did that. Hey, remember that part in the desert? Yeah, we did that too. Don't throw every major set piece at the like it's fine. And it's like
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
No, I know. We're on the nostalgia train right now. All the movies coming out, they're all old stuff. So
I know, and I know. Some of it's good, some of it's bad.
Some of it's good and some of it's bad.
I think you're the only person I've talked to though that didn't like just fall in love with Afterlife.
I think I think people who like Ghostbusters as when they were a kid and then saw this are like, this is amazing and we love it and we're so happy everybody's back and blah blah blah. But people who like Ghostbusters because as a film and not necessarily as a franchise, and then also understand what made Ghostbusters 1 work so well, it doesn't play out the same. They honestly, the first movie is a comedy and it just has weird things in it. It just has scary, goofy things in it.
Yeah.
But this movie, which is fine, it's not like an awful movie by any stretch of the means. It's just, it's more like a drama. They do all this stuff in it and they make all these like, they make it like a single parent like drama movie where you're following the lives of a single mom and she's trying to keep her kids together and balance all her life out and all this stuff. And then there just happens to be terrible things happening in the town.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so jarring is at the end when they show up in their suits, spoiler, they show up, it's like you're taking comedy characters and putting them into a drama and it feels out of place. Because they show up and they're hilarious and all the stuff that they do is honestly like the gold of the movie. If that was the movie, you'd be like, oh, this is amazing. But because it's like 20 minutes of the movie, it doesn't feel out of place. It just feels, I don't know, it was weird. It was kind of more jarring, if anything, to have them be silly.
Well, I've already seen merchandise of see-through Spangler characters. So.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what happens is what I guessed from the very beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was the one thing I didn't really want them to do, and not because of anything weird. It just was like they didn't do that in the other movies. They didn't have
the point that you told me from the beginning, and it makes a lot of sense that I never thought about, was that like all of like the ghost characters are all like they're bad. I mean, they're
right. They're not.
But now you're telling me that there's like good. There's like good and bad, and
right.
Like, so
they don't touch on any of it. I mean, I guess in a technical sense, if you get like kind of whatever you want to say about it, like in the second movie, the people on the Titanic show up, and it's like they're not bad people. They're just people who died in the Titanic.
I don't remember that at all.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it because it implies that you know,
Right.
Spangler's been like tortured this whole time. You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause it's like, oh, cool, he's back, but it's like, no, he's not like at peace. So that's not good for that character.
Right.
It's not nice. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. I was gonna wait to see it.
I don't know. It's not bad. It's not like, oh, this is awful and it's unwatchable and all that stuff. It just isn't. It honestly just isn't funny until like the last couple minutes of the movie. It's kind of just either like, it's like watching one of those movies that you probably would never watch, which is like, let's watch this mom take care of her kids and have life out in the middle of nowhere. Like that's what the movie is.
At least
and then there's like elements of stuff in it because of Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is funny in it.
Yeah, but at least it's not 4 characters who think they're hilarious. Just
no, that's
bouncing jokes off because
no.
Oh, this is funny. This is funny. No, I'm funny. I'm funny. At least it's not that.
No, it isn't that. No, it isn't that. But.
All right. Well, that is James Bond.
I know.
Fun. All right, dude.
Yeah.
Fun.
We did it.
I will see you at the next. What? Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Should be good. Should be good.
All right. I'll catch you next time.
See you next time.
Review.
Like, comment, and subscribe.